Well, good evening, race fans. Here we are tonight from Bristol, and it is season 12 of the Dev Sports Cards Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series here tonight, the SCSRA Cup Series, live from Bristol. And it's none other than your one and only Jacob Shangle for the call here tonight with Intensity Broadcasting. Weather looks pretty nice here in Bristol, Tennessee. The chase coming to a close here next week at Las Vegas. But before that, we have to get through the track that's tough to tame, Bristol. The last great Coliseum. 200 laps tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Always a treat. Always exciting. And currently getting through our practice session here tonight, getting settled in for qualifying shortly within the next 8 minutes. So far, fastest in practice, 72 of Matt Bands, who sits second in the points, hunting down the top dog of the series this year in Matt Parasini. What a surprise here tonight in the field. Matt Parasini actually is here for the race. He had been talking about how he was going to end up missing Bristol. Comes out, turns a lap. And maybe that was to, well, no, he's out on track right now as we are talking. So that's an interesting scenario that we did not see coming, as he had work that was going to have him out of the track here tonight. But instead, he is here for the call. Go ahead and take a quick glance at your Rookie of the Year standings as we're in practice here. Your Rookie of the Year title going the way of Holden Wheeler. So far, 89-point advantage over Colin Hoffman. I am about 90% sure that that's a lock, because the points that are up for grabs versus the points, you know, that are separating the two of them. Holden Wheeler, short of something strange happening like missing this race. And, of course, as I mentioned that, he is not yet in the lobby here tonight. So Holden Wheeler would have to start this race here tonight, and Colin Hoffman in the field currently. So we'll wait and see if he joins the lobby. But of the 16 cars that have joined so far, not yet has he reached Bristol, Tennessee yet. So kind of have to put that on hold. Obviously, it isn't a tied up scenario for sure yet, as Rookie of the Year currently belongs to Holden Wheeler, who we're still waiting on to see if he shows here tonight. 16 car field, a larger field than we've had in the last couple weeks. Looks like some new names that we don't often see running in the field. New for season 12, the 47 here of Michael Cheeseburger. Let me get the last name on that. Well, let's see. Driver details here. Michael Lawrence here tonight from McKinleyville, California. Or is that Canada? California. CN is Canada. Ah, I see. Okay. So a start and park for Matt Parasini here tonight. Got the game on the laptop, I'm assuming from work, so that he can at least get a point at the bottom of the track, bottom of the field. So one lap and done. He's probably using a keyboard as we speak to set the lap for qualifying and come out for one lap and park it. But the the crazy part is the fact that we are not seeing Holden Wheeler in the field here tonight. That could be a pivotal moment in this championship scheme. As you see here, the title still up for grabs, although Matt Parasini has a 36-point advantage over Matt Bands. Garrett Walden third in the points, 37 points back. Vince Brent, 39 points out of it in 4th. Really, once you get past 50 points, that's where it's almost no man's land anymore. Colin Hoffman, with a good night here tonight, could put himself in a position at Las Vegas next week to maybe have a chance. But perhaps the reason we don't see Holden Wheeler in the field here tonight, he's 7th in the points, 74 points back, and pretty much knocked out of championship contention. You still have, though, Christopher Bishop, Josh Hall, Lauren Vincent, and that would be, those are the only other 3 drivers from the bottom of the standings here tonight. And they could get around Holden Wheeler with a good night here at Bristol. Well, as we are down to just 2 minutes and change left here in practice, now is the opportunity to spotlight our sponsors here tonight. Of course, first and foremost, want to give a shout out to Dev Sports Cards. Buy, sell, and consign on eBay. Tonight's broadcast presented by Dev Sports Cards, primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of the league. Their eBay store has a fresh batch of auctions closing soon. From star rookies to vintage chase cards, plus 25-cent combined shipping on qualifying orders if you want to support the people who support sim racing. Check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. And, of course, Butt Kicker, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you ever wish you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And, of course, the Hidden Opponent. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you by the Hidden Opponent. In racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The Hidden Opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. And so thanks for all of you tuned in tonight as well, and your support for Intensity Broadcasting. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So thanks again. And if interested, check out some of our sponsors down in the comment section below. Give them a peep. Give them a shout. Check them out. Give them some love. So, well, practice coming to a close here at Bristol. Fastest in practice is Matt Bands, who has a great chance here tonight to make up some big points on the title leader, Matt Parasini. As we head into qualifying here, we have 16 cars taking to the course here. And we're going to do good old-fashioned hot potato style, as usual, jumping from car to car. Right there, one of the first to come out, Michael Lawrence in the 47 McDonald's Ford. Dark horse there. First time we've seen Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence here in Season 12 of the SCSRA Cup Series here. Also out there taking to the track, you got Lauren Vincent, who's in the title hunt. As it sits out of contention for the overall championship, but could still get up there as high as second in the points. So far, third quickest for Lauren Vincent out of 3. AJ Evangelista up to second quickest. And the times are going to start rolling in here quicker and quicker. Tennessee on the Chevrolet there. Vince Brent, Kingsport, Tennessee, repping the college team here tonight in Bristol. Top of the board, Christopher Bishop nailed a 15.26 and pulls it down pit road. Here we have Colin Hoffman in the 77, making a timed lap here. First lap in the books. And Persini, as he is on his laptop from afar, not at home, he's going to go out there, set a time. I don't know if he's going to qualify at all, but, or I guess set a qualifying time, I should say. Either way, he could take to the back. He might be getting a feel for what, you know, the controls are on the keyboard, as I'm assuming here. I don't know for a fact, but I'm only assuming. And so he'll get a feel for what it's going to be like to come out there on the track after qualifying for the start and park. Ryan Gomes out here to set a time. Garrett Walden jumps up to fourth quickest, and they're separated by 0.4 for the top 4. Very tight, very close. Matt Baines coming out to make his timed lap as Gomes spins right across the line. 11th fastest here, and that really botched his whole qualifying run because he came across the line into the wall, so his second lap is now null and void. But here's a threat. We might see Matt Baines fight for the pole position here. His first timed lap going to be in the books this time by. That will be good for first quickest. He was 1/10 faster than second place, Christopher Bishop, with a 15.16. Second lap. Oh, and just loses it right on the front stretch there. A little bit slower, but would have still been top 5 quick on his second lap as well. Devin Butchino comes out on the track, loses it on his lap here. Still really neat, the win earlier this year at Talladega for Devin Butchino. The Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series, and he was able to park it in victory lane this year. He's missed a couple races the last couple weeks. He's still in the top 12, still in the chase, but he's going to try to bring it home here for his mom. Have a good run here tonight in Bristol, hopefully. Good for 10th quickest on his quali lap, and he'll park it like that. So looks like everyone else pretty much content with starting from the back here tonight. Blaze Richardson, we haven't heard his name yet this year, so that'll be another new entry here for season 12 tonight. And 16 cars taken to the field for 200 laps here tonight at Bristol. There will be a stage break at lap 65, so one stage, and then 135 laps the distance after that to run to the finish. Should not be any green flag pit stops here, as that stage break pretty much puts them in a scenario where they will run to the finish afterwards. But qualifying in the books here, your starting lineup here tonight looks a little bit something like this. Matt Baines with pole position, had a full 10th over Christopher Bishop, second quickest. Then it's Vince Brent, AJ Evangelista, and Garrett Walden, your top 5. Next in is Anthony Strickland, followed by Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Lauren Vincent, Carlton Charles, and Devin Butchino. That's your top 10. Then it's Tristan Cotton, Colin Hoffman, Ryan Gomes, Josh Hall, Blaze Richardson and Matt Persini at the tail end of the field. So for Matt Baines, tonight is pole number 3 to the season for him. He had 2 rolling into tonight. He is still seeking race win number 1 here in the season 12 for the 2026 campaign here. Garrett Walden is 3rd in the points. He's had 3 wins, 0 poles, 9 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. Matt Persini with 5 wins, 1 pole, 10 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. Baines right in there with 2 poles, 7 top 5s, and 10 top 10s. But for Baines, I think the consistency has definitely been the big game changer, especially getting into the chase here when the chase started. And as consistent as he has been the last couple weeks, really has made up the difference with the stats not really showing it quite like the 2 Cypress Academy teammates that have dominantly won and racked up all those points. For Baines, he's going to be able to try and close the gap on the 24 of Matt Persini here. Matt gets his start in park. He's going to be credited with 16th. So did everything he had to get some points under the belt here tonight. But more than likely, the title is going to go all the way down to Vegas no matter what happens here tonight. There is going to be a battle for the championship. Nothing's going to get tied up here tonight with the one guy that could have tied it up.
Caution, yellow
Rough
flag.
start already out of the gates. Let's go ahead and take a gander at what happened there on the restart. The initial start did not go so swimmingly. The 15 must have missed a gear here as he gets shoved up high, 3 wide. The 05 gets into him. Oh, and AJ Evangelista just kind of miscalculated where the 15 was. Comes back down the track, collects the 21 of Anthony Strickland, the 27 also involved of Tristan Cotton. Oh, the 07 with nowhere to go. Lauren Vincent has to run into the 05 there. Quite the logjam here on lap number 1 tonight. Let's go back and watch in full time. We'll watch from the 07 here of Lauren Vincent. Everything's happening so quickly. It's just hard to gauge where to put the car and what's happening ahead. Just very slim track. Hard to make something like that without getting involved in the wreck. Good thing is it is a short track, so aerodynamics is not a big factor here. They might have some crinkled up noses, sides swiped into, but they'll just keep rolling here tonight and try to stay on the lead lap. That is the big goal when it comes to Bristol. Don't want to go a lap down because getting that lap back may prove to be a tough task So already out of the gates, one caution here tonight before we even were one lap into the books. New front row for the restart here. It's going to be Matt Bands and Vince Brent, followed by Garrett Walden and Michael Lawrence. Carlton Charles up into the top 5, 23 car there. Tristan Cotton, although involved in the wreck, still maintained a top 10 position at the moment in 6th place. Christopher Bishop goes from the front row all the way back to 7th. And you can tell some of those cars a little bit beaten up on the nose end. But, like I said, aerodynamics don't mean a thing here. Pace car is going to pull off. We're going to get back and rolling. Leader has control of the race. Vince Brent's going to have to calculate his timing here. Good start for Vince Brent. Now, I'm pretty sure there's some leniency on who leads the lap. I know there's some weird rules out there in the world of racing, but here tonight I don't think that was a bad jump by any means. There's a good start for the 92. He drops back to 3rd though, lets the 72 get the spot back. And Garrett Walden up to 2nd, fighting for the race lead already. Side by side, through the turns they go. Down the front stretch once again here at Bristol, and the 43 of Garrett Walden takes over the top spot here on lap number 8. Oh, my bad, we don't have a ticker up. That would help if we had the ticker up rolling. Garrett Walden, your race leader, followed by Matt Bands, Vince Brent, Tristan Cotton, and Michael Lawrence, your top 5. So far, Tristan Cotton up 7 spots, due in part to that first caution here tonight, giving him a bit of a bump. Every car still on the lead lap, apart from the start and park of Matt Parasini. Bands from pole position, got to lead a lap or 2 here, and has fallen to 2nd as Garrett Walden's up front in control of the race right now. For Cypress Academy, since Matt Parasini's kind of out of the mix here tonight, they've got Garrett Walden, Vince Brent, and Lauren Vincent to fight for the race win here today. And I don't know if Parasini's actually, yeah, it's off pit road altogether. So got his lap in the books, gets the points that come with finishing 16th here tonight. All in the meanwhile, Garrett Walden, who sits 3rd in the points, trying to rack up as many points to reel in his teammate with that points lead. Well, we are under caution for the 2nd time here tonight as the pace car comes roaring onto the track. Let us see what brings out the 2nd yellow here tonight. That's the 21 there of Anthony Strickland. Looks like he kind of loses it all on his lonesome there on the backstretch. Gathers himself up, gets back and rolling at the back end of the field here. But just a solo spinner for the 2nd caution. For the drivers, they are trying to set themselves up for the first stage here. 50 laps from stage, and getting yourself up there fighting for a position to be in the mix for a stage win. Bonus points are going to be pivotal as we get down to the nitty-gritty of it next week. Stage points have been a big factor. When you look at Matt Parasini and all the points he's racked up, a lot of those points have come from bonus point land. So, again, stage win, other bonuses such as incident count, awards, and lead lap, bonus points as well. Matt Parasini has been the expert at nailing down those bonus points this year. So a stage win is no joke when it comes to the grand scheme of the championship. And I guarantee you, everyone here in the top 3 who are still very much alive for the drive to win the title are looking at possibly fighting a little bit harder to get the stage win here tonight. And that's where it's going to get interesting. For now, 50 laps left in the stage. They're going to play it kind of cool. But once you get down to about 20 laps in the stage, maybe even 10 laps in the stage, you might see the gloves come off just a little bit. Thanks again for everyone and your support hopping into the stream here tonight. Got a lot of people tuned in catching this one. So doesn't matter if it's iRacing or a different form of motorsport at Bristol, it's always a good time. Heck, even the infield where they've been doing football, and I think they even did a baseball game. I remember that because whenever they hit a home run, they'd have a celebratory victory lap around the racetrack, which is pretty dang cool. Really like what Bristol's done. I've been to Bristol once in my life. That was back in 2014. Definitely one of my favorite tracks. Not a bad seat in the house no matter where you sit. And the perspective you get, you know, it might change a little bit, but you still have the best seat no matter where you're sitting. 15 got loose there in the back of the picture. He gathers it up, slots his way back into 6th as Michael Lawrence moves up into the top 5. Tristan Cotton in 4th. Matt Bands in 3rd with Vince Brent and his teammate Garrett Walden leading the way. Yeah, no, that one definitely sits in as one of the most memorable tracks I've been to throughout my life, is going to Bristol, the summer night race in 2014. And that was a week that was owned by Ford Racing, believe it or not. I have the sole honors of being able to witness Brad Keselowski's only truck win in his career. Now, of course, once he gets down to the point in time where he's trying to retire, he could go back and race trucks and maybe win another race. But as it sits right now, the only race that Brad Keselowski ever won in a truck was here at Bristol, 2014. We'll get back to that little side conversation as we have our 3rd caution of the evening here on lap 24. We'll see what happens here. It looks like involved in this caution is the 05 of AJ Evangelista. And just loses it on his own, comes back up the track and collects Gomes. Tough break there. Gomes really wrong place at the wrong time, as you see a car just sliding out of your peripheral. Take you for a bit of a ride. Damage looks minimal on that 55 machine. Could be worse, but definitely not where he wanted to be early on in tonight's race. But yeah, no, that was a week owned by Ford Racing that week, 2014. It was, of course, Brad Keselowski with his one and only truck win. Truck race got rained out and ran on Saturday morning. It was kind of a bummer. I was hoping for a night race, a Friday night race when we were there back in the day, but it didn't come to fruition. So we ended up showing up the next morning, Saturday morning, for the doubleheader of what was then the Nationwide Series. Yeah, the Truck and Nationwide Series here at Bristol. And, man, Kyle Busch could have been in a position to sweep that weekend. had the truck to win it, got a flat tire. The nationwide race, he was up front, and I think he got penalized or jumped the start or something, and got black flag sent to the back. Then it was Ryan Blaney, when he was still climbing the ladder, that won the race that night, Saturday night, 2014. And then move on to Sunday, and it was a clinic put down by Joey Logano for the Ford sweep of the weekend. Kyle Busch could have won 2 of the 3 races had he not gotten a flat in the trucks and a black flag
Green flag.
nationwide race that night. We're back in racing here, though, with the SCSRA Cup Series. Garrett Walden, your race leader, followed by Vince Brent, Matt Baines, your top 3. As we're about halfway through the stage. Oh, and there's another wreck happening. That would be caution number 4 here tonight. They're a little bit rowdy here at Bristol. The only thing more rowdy than the fans at Bristol is the racing. And so here is our 4th caution of the evening. Involves, and that I think could have been maybe solved by a little help from the spotters. The 15 had the line, but the 27 kind of got into the wall, got into him here. Just run out of space. Tough break for the 15 of Christopher Bishop. Behind that, you had some drivers trying to whoa up to avoid making contact with the 15. And here is an in-car shot from AJ Evangelista as the wreck's happening ahead of him. Everyone else kind of sliding around to get out of the way, and for Evangelista, he was able to clear it with ease. Well, halfway through the stage, like I mentioned, Garrett Walden getting the advantage of leading all these extra laps here tonight. Him and his teammate are going to restart on the front row once again, followed by Matt Baines and now Tristan Cotton, your top 4. Michael Lawrence up to 5th. But the biggest gainers have been the 27 of Tristan Cotton, who has been +7 here tonight, followed by Blaze Richardson, who has also moved up 7 spots here tonight. First time we've seen Blaze Richardson in the field for season 12. He is piloting that number 0 Plaza Pizza machine. Ford Dark Horse there. Definitely dig the paint scheme. Looks like cheese and pepperoni flying off the side of the car. But it'll be Cypress Academy resetting the field once again here tonight on lap 35. 30 laps remain here in the stage.
Green flag.
Tough start there for Vince Brent. Restarts are always dicey here at Bristol. But he settles into 2nd, right behind his teammate, and gets set into a rhythm. And of course, you got Baines running in 3rd, Tristan Cotton in 4th, and Michael Lawrence 5th. But how about Carlton Charles in the 23, making some moves, getting up through the field here. Lauren Vincent kind of holding serve, qualified 8th, running in 8th. But it's a long night, a long race, still a lot can be made up here. Oh, and at the back of the field, Gomes just loses it there. We'll rewatch here from the lap, see what happens.
Yellow flag is out.
Gets up loses it on his own. And now we have a yellow flag just ahead of this. Yeah, something just not right with the 55 as it seems like this was where they threw the caution. No, that couldn't have been. Oh, okay, here we go. Anthony Strickland loses it just after the fact. And AJ Evangelista, just a magnet for disaster here tonight, gets connected in another wreck. Not of his doing. So caution number 5. Drivers, they need to get the jitters shaken off here as they are getting caution fever. Been a tough start getting up to the first quarter mark of tonight's race. Bit of a wreck fest. But here we go. Lights are going to turn off on the pace car next time by. It's going to be Garrett Walden, Vince Brent, Matt Baines. The top 3 have pretty much remained unchanged here tonight. Looks like we have 3 cars on pit road right now. AJ Evangelista may just barely beat the pace car off and stay on the lead lap. Gomes as well. But Anthony Strickland's going to go 1 lap down here tonight. That will leave us with 14 cars on the lead lap. Not for certain, but Strickland might, after causing 2 cautions, might have to sit out the night. So alrighty, we're going to get back and rolling here tonight. Lap 43. If anything, tonight's race just building up more anticipation for Las Vegas next week. There is a high chance that we could see a new winner here tonight without Matt Parasini in the mix. Garrett Walden, of course, has a couple wins on the season, so that would stump the new winner scenario a little bit. But with Vince Brent in second, Matt Baines in third, those are 2 drivers seeking race win number 1 here in season 12. Baines with a good run. He's starting to turn it up. Dialed up to 11. Oh, and just gets a little bit loose on the inside of Vince Brent there. Has to gather it back up, fall back in line. Baines might have to defend now for 4th place as Tristan Cotton has reeled in the 72. Some other battles throughout the field here. You got the 15 of Christopher Bishop and the 81 of Josh Hall side by side for position. Whoa, they were thinking about 3 wide, but Josh Hall knew better not to make it 3 wide in the middle of a turn. Falls back in line behind the 07. Christopher Bishop moves up to 8. Here we have a battle for 6th and 7th as Carlton Charles and Blaze Richardson duking it out here. This seems to be the tightest battle in the field, though, right now for 9th and 10th with Lauren Vincent and Josh Hall. Tristan Cotton, though, starting to reel in. Matt Baines really closing in on, oh, wait, my bad. Actually, Michael Lawrence reeling in Tristan Cotton for 4th place. Looking at the wrong delta there. Battle for 4th, heating up. as you've got McDonald's with the cheeseburger and Richardson with the pizza right in the background. On the hood of the 27 featuring the Southern brand. Seems I need to go to school on some of the sponsors out here tonight, some new sponsors that we haven't seen yet before. And that Southern 27 Camry trying to maintain a top 5 at the moment. AJ Evangelista, the last car on lead lap here tonight, running in 14th. Anthony Strickland still on pit road. Vince Brent, though, is running second to his teammate Garrett Walden as there are only 10 laps left in the stage. Garrett Walden looking to rack up some more bonus points.
Flag is out.
More under caution once again. So bringing out the caution here on lap 55. This will be caution number 6 on the evening. And I do believe it involves the 15 of Christopher Bishop once again. Just a solo spinner, as we've seen so often here tonight. So many solo spinners, and they end up paying the ultimate price, losing all the track position they had. So Bishop back to the back in 14th, the number 15 Ford Dark Horse. This will be interesting. This will be about a 4 or 5 lap shootout once the green drops for the restart. The stage up for grabs. Take another glance at your point standings before we go back to green here. As you can see, Matt Parasini has a 36-point advantage over Matt Bands and a 37-point advantage over Garrett Walden. Max points here tonight, you get about 60 points with a stage win and a race win. So Garrett Walden, that 37-point bubble could shrink exponentially. But the plus for Matt Parasini tonight is that he did make the field and did start. So he is going to be guaranteed some points. And I want to say it might only be about a 40-point swing for Garrett Walden here if he were to win the race and the stage. So don't quote me on it, but my best guesstimation would put a Garrett Walden stage win, Garrett Walden race win as a 3-point advantage in his favor over teammate Matt Parasini. But hopefully I did not just jinx the field here tonight by muttering those words into existence. Bad juju is not my plan, or not my intentions. That's not my intentions, but commentators' jinx always seems to kick in when I'm throwing out the stats, throwing out the concept, throwing out the scenarios. But we're going to get back here with 5 laps left in the stage. Fight for the big stage win. Garrett Walden and his teammate Vince Brent reset the field once again. How does Matt Bands approach this restart? Right there behind the 43. 92 loses it.
Caution, yellow flag.
And that may be the stage. We'll have to wait and see. Stage break is meant to be at lap 65. But it got a little bit dicey there, and Vince Brent lost it on the restart. So on the restart, 92, I think, just kind of spins his tires a little bit. No contact from behind. Good start from Matt Bands, actually, but the 92, yeah, must have just misshifted, money shifted, or whatever you want to call it. Got loose on the initial through the gears and gets hit into by the 47 there of Michael Lawrence. Gave a little bit of a side blow to the 72 of Matt Baines. Let's watch it at full pace once again. Kind of just a glancing blow on Matt Baines there, so not a terrible hard hit. But the worst of it goes to the 92 of Vince Brent after getting into a couple other cars through the process here. Just hooked out of control on the restart there. Tough break. Well, we do have pit stops here. And before things get too far ahead, I'll acknowledge your stage winner. 43 of Garrett Walden gets the stage win here tonight, gets the bonus points that come with it, and is already setting himself up to try and chase down his teammate Matt Pericini for the points lead here tonight. Baines actually ends up outpitting the 43 here, gets ahead of Garrett Walden on pit stops. Looks like Josh Hall trying to stay out here. We've seen some very unique fuel strategies on the 81 of Josh Hall.
We're not going green, not going green.
Or maybe, I don't know what's going on, but he was up front, did not lead the lap, drops off there to let the lap go to Matt Baines. So it looks like Josh may have maybe doing some technical stuff, getting things sorted out here. So we're getting back and rolling here as Garrett Walden and Matt Baines will reset the field here once again. 135 laps to the checkered now. Drivers kind of have what they got for the long run here. Blaze Richardson up 12 spots from his qualifying here tonight, up into the 3rd position. Pace car is going to pull off and relinquish it to the field. Great start here for Matt Baines. He wants to get up there, lead some extra laps, and oh, it gets a little bit gnarly there as they get into each other, him and the 43. Baines tries to get back into the racetrack and just clips another car there. From lead all the way to the tail end of the field, heartbreak for Matt Baines. Garrett Walden recovers and moves back into 2nd place. No caution, we stay green. Although I would like to show a replay, we saw it live, so we'll just keep rolling here. Blaze Richardson, your race leader in the number 0 machine.
Caution, yellow flag.
And we're back under caution once again. Well, this actually gives us an opportunity to check out that restart here involving Matt Baines and Garrett Walden. So as you can see here on the initial start, 72 just gets a little loose, the 43 all the way up the track already. And because of that, he got stuck down below the apron. It's a good perspective here. 72, man, it's just one of those bang bang moves on the racetrack. The 72 really did not do anything wrong there. Then later on here, we have a wreck just a couple laps down the road involving the 92 of Vince Brent. all on his lonesome, loses it right in front of Gomes, spins out. Gathers it back up, but brings out the caution once again here tonight. Probably for the 7th time, I want to say. Well, it's getting wild, rowdy, and crazy here tonight in Bristol as cautions breed cautions. But a lot of good storylines coming from here tonight. Some opportunities to see a new winner here. Garrett Walden amongst your top 5. Him and Devin Butchino, the only 2 with a race win this season. Look through the rest of the field, minus the start and park of Matt Parasini. No one else in the field except Garrett Walden and Butchino have a race win this year. So 13 of your field of your 15 seeking race win number 1, numero uno here tonight. They're doubled up for the restart. Pace car's off, and we're back and rolling. Blaze Richardson controlling the field here in that Plaza Pizza Ford Dark Horse to the front of the field. Pepperonis, cheese and all, leading the way. You're going to have battle of the food here eventually with cheeseburger right there in 3rd. Pizza versus cheeseburger. I couldn't have made that stuff up even if I tried. It's hard to say on any given day whether I'm team pizza or team cheeseburger. I've definitely eaten probably the same amount, my weight in pizza and or cheeseburgers at some point through my life, so. And just in the middle there, you got the Valvoline 40 XLI machine of Garrett Walden trying to go for race win number 4. It's kind of wild. Last year came down to the final 4 with Cypress Academy, and from the race lead,
Yellow flag is out.
Blaze Richardson losing it from the race lead there. I hear some fenders crunching in the background. We'll see who else was involved in the melee with Blaze Richardson. Yeah, we've got caution fever for sure here tonight. Hopefully it does not turn into a caution plague. Whoa, threading the needle. The 77 goes high, stays out of making contact with the 0, but hits the wall pretty good there. Apart from that, not much drama through the rest of the field. Blaze Richardson from the lead all the way back to 13. Well, we're not even halfway, and we're at about our 8th or 9th caution at this point. 120 laps still remain here as Garrett Walden, Michael Lawrence, and Tristan Cott in your top 3. Alrighty,
Green
we
flag,
are
green
back
flag.
and rolling here tonight. Garrett Walden leads them to the restart. And settling in with the race lead, Garrett Walden over
flag is
Michael
out.
Lawrence. And we're under caution once again here tonight. Back under caution once again. We're almost to the double-digit mark for cautions here tonight. We're not even 100 laps in. So lap 82, we're brought under caution with the involvement here in your mid-pack. That is the 81 of Josh Hall. Moves down the track and gets clipped by the 23 of Carlton Charles. Another tough break. Another rough caution period here tonight. But we'll settle in. We'll get back and rolling here tonight.
Green, green, green.
Alrighty, back and rolling here. 87 laps in the books. 113 laps remaining. Garrett Walden up to the front, holding the lead. Up to second now. Tristan Cotton gets by Michael Lawrence. Lawrence under attack now by Vince Brent, looking for third. Matt Band's able to resurge here, dropping all the way to the back. Moving back through the field, up into the top 5 once again. Here's to hoping we get a decent green flag run rolling here tonight. 92 making a
The
move.
yellow flag is out.
And now we're into the double-digit territory of cautions here tonight. We're under caution once again, just shy of lap 100. So on lap 89 here, bringing out our 10th or 11th caution at this point. Oh, and the 68 had already lost it in front. Hard dart into the right side for the 07 of Lauren Vincent. See what happens here to Devin Butchino. Oh, wow, his car just veered sharp right. Kind of a double whammy there for both the 68 and the 07. They just hooked sharp right there. Gets loose and overcorrect. The car itself overcorrects. Busted up the front end of his car pretty brutally. Not often do you see a scary wreck like that here at Bristol. Wow, that He went for a full 360 in the air. Well, sooner or later, we're going to get settled in here and run some lengthy green flag stints here tonight. Pardon me. Part of me feels like this is definitely what the drivers were afraid of here tonight, was just how much carnage and chaos could unfold here at Bristol. That's why they had, so many of them when we would interview them over the last month, that they were scared the most about Bristol. And rightfully so. It's just one of those tracks. It's so small. It's hard to not get yourself into an accident when someone else loses it in front of you. So you just kind of get tangled up in the mess. And so many of the drivers here tonight really not doing anything wrong, but just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So 11 cautions deep here at lap 93. 107 laps left to go. Let's see if we can get back and rolling.
Green, green, green. Caution, yellow flag.
Well, we're back under caution again here. Did not even get back to the green flag before the caution drops once again. Sorry, folks. I'm having to drink some water here to get my situation figured out. But under caution, once again, lap 12. Or caution number 12 here at lap 93. Cotton loses it on the initial restart there, and it just collects a couple others. Carlton Charles, man, I don't know. He's been in the wrong place at the wrong time every time tonight. He has not done anything wrong except get involved with all these wrecks here tonight. Yeah, 27 of Tristan Cotton. Very, very off the pace to stick with your leader. Was all the way ahead of him there, and yeah, just not getting through the gears quite like he should. Spins out and collects a couple others. Alrighty, let's try this again. We're going to be restarting at lap 99 of 200 here tonight. Back at the front again, reunited teammates 1 and 2. Vince Brent and Garrett Walden top the field right now, followed by Colin Hoffman now up into third. Blaze Richardson picking up the pieces that he dropped back into the top 5 once again. And Josh Hall currently 5th. Matt Bands in 6th. Looks like we've got 11 cars on the lead lap. Devin Butchino in 12th is at least a lap down, followed by Lauren Vincent, Christopher Bishop, Anthony Strickland, and Matt Parasini, all of which look to be out of the race here. So Walden gets a good start here. Vince Brent settles into second. Blaze Richardson fighting on the high side of the 77 of Colin Hoffman. Slots his way into third. But here comes Matt Bands looking to get up to fourth here, fighting with the 77 of Hoffman. Even though Carlton Charles has been a target here tonight so many times, he's back in the mix up into the top 6. No, and Matt Bands slides up the track. The car not happy. Falls all the way back again.
Yellow flag.
We're under caution here at lap 102 for the Matt Bands spin. Just to drive it in a little too steep there. Slides up the track into the 77. Oh, the 05 gets into the 72, and I think that's where the caution fell right there. Man, it has been a gnarly night here at Bristol. We'll get another restart with Garrett Walden and Blaze Richardson at the top of the field. Got some takers on pit road, and Carlton Charles is going to decide to stay out here and inherit the race lead, followed by Tristan Cotton. Everyone else, though, comes down pit road to get some service done. It'll be a new leader for the first time here tonight. Carlton Charles in the 23 Toyota wants to try and make up for all the hardships he's dealt with here tonight. We are back and rolling here. Carlton Charles leads the field, has the lead. Tristan Cotton in second. Everyone behind, fresh and full of gas. Fresh tires, full of gas. Moving into second, Vince Brent is going to take over from the 27 there of Tristan Cotton. Full speed ahead. Vince Brent looking to try and take the race lead here from Carlton Charles. Lap 107. Carlton gets into the wall just a little bit. Side by side, they go roaring around the turn. Vince Brent gets the race lead here at lap 108. Oh, and the 23 loses it, gets up into the wall, into the marbles. Falls back to fourth. So fresh tires prevail here as they get by the two that stayed out. Vince Brent leading over his teammate Garrett Walden, 1 and 2. Here we are at lap 110. That'll leave us with 90 laps left to go here tonight. The two teammates duking it out. The Tennessee-based driver on home track here tonight gets into the wall, falls back into second. Got a little bit out of line and hit his mark a little too close for comfort. After hitting the wall, falls back to second. Carlton Charles, though, in the meanwhile, you can see him in third. maybe trying to get settled back in and hunt down the race leaders. He'd fallen back to 4th, but now moves himself back into 3rd. Now Garrett Walden trying to go for a max points night here tonight. He's going to try to put the fight to his teammate Matt Perzini. But what's crazy here, Vince Brent running 2nd here tonight. He might be trying to go for getting into the mix as well with his 2 teammates. As you can see in the standings, Vince Brent 39 points back, Garrett Walden 37, and Matt Baines 36. So pretty much they're all within the same little bubble. And for Vince Brent, as he is running right now, he'd get by Matt Baines, but still would be behind Garrett Walden in the points. You could see a 1-2-3 championship battle between teammates, plus Matt Baines, as it's looking like it'll set up for next week at Las Vegas. And then it would be mano, imano. Pretty much a 4-car fight, just like the Final Four last year. Except it would be Sentinel Motorsports putting their name in the hat against Cypress Academy, who had all 4 cars in the finale last year. Well, Garrett Walden has a half-second lead over Vince Brent. Let's go check throughout the field and see some of the other battles that are brewing. Here we got Colin Hoffman running in 6th. He's trying to hunt down 5th place Tristan Cotton. Has to shake it out a little bit. The car gets a little bit uncomfortable, and now the 47 of Michael Lawrence closing the gap on him. $80 laps left to go here from Bristol. It's getting tied up here for the race lead as Vince Brent has closed in on his teammate Garrett Walden. Try and get the lead back. '92 definitely tracking a little bit quicker here, as he is right there on the back bumper of Garrett Walden. Run the high line, trying to get on the outside. Gets a little bit loose there, but brings it down low, trying not to make contact with his teammate there. The battle wages on. Well, for now, it looks like Garrett Walden got the best of him, but he ain't done. He's going to come back ripping and roaring, ready to fight for it again. Vince Brent clips the wall just a little bit on the exit of that turn. Meanwhile, Matt Baines still has his hands full trying to climb back through the field, dealing with the 55 of Gomes, the 47 of Michael Lawrence. Good run on the high side. Baines is going to get by Gomes there and sets his sights on Michael Lawrence to try to get back up into 6th place. This time by, it'll be 70 laps left to go. We got 10 cars remaining on the lead lap. It looks like few cars still out there running a lap down. The 81 of Josh Hall and Devin Butchino might still be on the track. Yeah, 1 lap down, at least for Devin Butchino. He's been trying to get some laps back, it looks like. Battle is a brewing here again, up front between the teammates, Vince Brent and Garrett Walden. Brent's right there. He can see it. He can taste it. Shy from getting to victory lane this year. He wants to put himself in a position to win.
Flag.
And I think it's probably caution number 15 at this point. Let us take a gander at what brings out the caution here at lap 131. So back at the back half of the field. Oh, Michael Lawrence miscalculates the race line and cuts down in front of another car there, causing him to get spun out. Just was not an opening there. Thought there was. Chops down low. And the 27 was there to make contact. Wow, so we're going to see some more folks decide to pit here. Actually, looks like majority of the field decidingly pitting here. Why not? I mean, if you're going to pit and everyone else pits with you, that's kind of the best case scenario where no one's going to have an advantage or disadvantage. Everyone will be back on the same level playing field. Michael Lawrence looks to be a lap down here. Let's see who gets the killer pit stop here. Put themselves up front. 43's done and he's rolling. 92's done and he's rolling. He's going to come back out second. Up to third, it's going to be Carlton Charles. Fourth, Blaze Richardson. And fifth, Matt Bands. Colin Hoffman. Tristan Cotton. And then more than likely, AJ Evangelista. No, it's going to be Josh Hall, Ryan Gomes, and then AJ Evangelista, your top 10. Well, this battle up front has been worth the price of admission to see the two teammates duking it out all night. Vince Brent was definitely showing some extra in the tank here. 92 looks strong. Was trying to run down the 43 and fight for the race win. But now it gets the reset button. They got to do it all over again.
Green flag, green flag.
And back and rolling, here we are. Garrett Walden with a good jump. Vince Brent back to second. Carlton Charles on the move into third. Fighting it out for third with Blaze Richardson. Whoa, and Richardson gets turned by the 23.
Caution, yellow flag.
I feel like that might be the first mistake made here tonight on the 23 of Carlton Charles. Just an aggressive move, slid up the track a little too high and collects the 0 in a spin. Well, the cautions keep on coming here tonight. And Matt Bands back into a podium position at the moment as he's just slowly worked his way methodically back through the field. Alrighty, lights are out. We're going to get back and rolling here at lap 143. 11 cars on the lead lap. Garrett Walden, Vince Brett, Tristan Cotton, Matt Bands, Ryan Gomes, Colin Hoffman, Blaze Richardson, and Josh Hall, followed by Carlton Charles, AJ Evangelista, and Michael Lawrence. 11 cars on the lead lap. 58 laps remaining here tonight. Who's going to get the job done? Mad props to Matt Bands for climbing back through the field here tonight. Right there, up to third.
Green, green, green.
In the 3Chi CarQuest Chevrolet, as it's pretty much a Chevrolet front of the field. Tristan Cotton, the first Toyota, and Ryan Gomes, the first Ford. But here goes Matt Bands looking for second on Vince Brent. Rip roaring around the track, gets a little bit loose in the 92. Slide job right back underneath him. Slingshot. Fighting for second on the passover maneuver. 72's defending though on the high side. He's going to clip the wall. Vince Brent trying to run full steam ahead while those two duke it out for second. The 43 of Garrett Walden walking away with it at the moment. 55 laps to go. Vince Brent back up to second. New fast lap for the Garrett Walden machine. A 15.26, getting within the realm of qualifying lap times here tonight on a standard pace lap under race conditions. And this late in the race too, to set a fast lap at this time is very, very strong message to the field. But for Vince Brent, this is kind of his comfort zone. It seems like the longer green flag runs, that 92 car starts to come to him. So if he can get a nice long green flag run at the end of the night here, he might be in the catbird seat. But of course, it has been very hard to get a green flag run going for much more than 10 to 20 laps at a time. With 50 laps remaining in the race, here's to hoping we can see a nice long green flag stint here at the end of the night. Some other battles in the field. You got Colin Hoffman and Tristan Cotton trying to fight for fourth spot. Colin Hoffman gets around Tristan Cotton to take over fourth. You have a trio of drivers at the moment that have gained 8 spots here tonight. Colin Hoffman up 8 from his qualifying. Josh Hall and Blaze Richardson as well, plus 8 to the good. Vince Brent, the gap actually growing as Garrett Walden has stretched it out to a full second advantage over his teammate. .1 seconds the advantage now to Garrett Walden. Meanwhile, there's still some battles in the mid-pack here. Josh Hall looking to get up into the top 5 here tonight. That would give him plus 9 to the good if he gets around the 27 here of Tristan Cotton. Blaze Richardson running in 7th, up 8 spots from qualifying here tonight. Carlton Charles back on the move. He's in 8th, looking to try and climb the ladder again. Devin Butchino a lap down in 12th, but with another caution, he could get back on the lead lap here tonight. Laps are ticking away, though. Only 40 laps remaining. Your top two, the gap starting to shrink once again is Vince Brent getting back into the wheelhouse of it all, trying to run down his teammate Garrett Walden. Well, it's definitely been a little bit of everything here tonight. A lot of carnage, a lot of chaos, some really hard hits for a couple drivers, and some varied strategies that have unfolded here. But through the fire and the flames, Garrett Walden and Vince Brent have found themselves up front where they started earlier here tonight, with Matt Bands also right there with them. Top three in the field from lap 1 have followed their way all the way to the end here tonight. The only one missing from the top 4 that qualified here would have been Christopher Bishop, who had 2nd. And other than that, Garrett Walden qualified 4th, Vince Brent qualified 3rd, and Matt Bands with the pole. Lead shrinking down to half a second. The advantage Garrett Walden over Vince Brent. We're getting back into the wheelhouse for Vince Brent yet again. We saw this working wonders for him in the last long green flag run. These long green flag runs is definitely what that 92 car needs, as he's reeling in his teammate for the race lead. 33 laps remaining. Is he going to be able to make something happen here? Losing a little bit of ground as it's now 0.77 tenths back. Matt Bands a full 3 seconds out from the race lead. Colin Hoffman another 2.5 seconds back from that. And then Blaze Richardson another 1.5 seconds back from all of that. Blaze Richardson, though, up plus 10, up into the top 5 again here tonight, where he's been earlier in the evening. Teammates for Neon Racing, you have 7th of Ryan Gomes, 8th of Josh Hall, and 12th of Devin Butchino. Here's one of the tightest battles on track right now here on lap 171. It's between Michael Lawrence and AJ Evangelista. And that is for 9th and 10th on the track. Oh, Michael Lawrence gets a little bit slowed up there. Definitely had a good night going up until it didn't. And that 47 was up there mixing it up with your race leaders tonight. Now he's going to have to try and maintain a top 10 at the end of the evening. But it's been a stunner from the 43 of Garrett Walden, who has really just owned the show here tonight. "26 laps remaining here from Bristol." This was the long green flag run that Vince Brent was hoping for. And he's reeling him back in again down to a 0.6 second deficit, but that car looking loose, looking a little bit uncomfortable to drive. He's got a lot of work to do to catch Garrett Walden and get around him. Never over until it's over, especially now that you have some lap traffic in the holdup 43 is going to get around the 27 here. Vince Brent's going to have to do the same. Make quick work of the lap traffic, and they've got their sights set back on clean air ahead. And with tonight being the penultimate race, we only have one more race after tonight, Las Vegas, to crown the champion. Garrett Walden had one goal in mind here tonight, try and maximize points to reel in his teammate who has the lead, Matt Parasini. Vince Brent doing just the same, following tail on his teammate, trying to get as many points here tonight. Even if he couldn't get the win, at least he could try to reel in the second most points to his teammate, Garrett Walden. 20 laps remaining and more lap traffic ahead, so it's not over until it's over. 8/10 is the advantage for Garrett Walden. Almost a full second over Vince Brent, but with lap traffic, this could hold him up a little bit. Making quick work of Michael Lawrence. He's now got his eyes set on Josh Hall in 9th place. 9 cars left on the lead lap. Josh Hall gets out of the way. A veteran move, a very, very classy move. Let the leaders by without holding them up. Oh man, Vince Brent, heartbreak. I don't know if the lap traffic got in his way or what, but just loses it down the front stretch. Trying to maneuver through the lap traffic here. Had to reset his line. It's like the air got ripped off the front end of the car there. Matt Bands moves up to second. But for Matt Bands, he's a full 4 seconds back of Garrett Walden. Short of a mistake, Garrett Walden is going to walk away with this one here tonight. If there is a late race caution, we do have attempts at green-white checkered if need be. But with 13 laps left to go, these laps are going to tick away pretty quickly. We're down to 7 cars left on the lead lap. Colin Hoffman trying to reel in Vince Brent ahead of him there. 7/10 the advantage for Vince Brent over Colin Hoffman. But Vince Brent is a full 3 seconds away from Matt Bands, and Bands is a full 4 seconds away from Garrett Walden. Well, now you can count the laps on 2 hands as we're getting right down to the end here. 10 laps to go. Garrett Walden leading the way. Single digits remaining here from Bristol tonight. It's been 200 laps of grit and determination. Chaos infused in with the racing as well. But we're going to make it home with a nice long green flag stint at the end of the evening.
The yellow flag is out.
And I jinxed it right there. Well, we will get an attempt at a restart here under regulation. 7 laps remaining. This is our X amount number of cautions here tonight. And I believe it's right there in the process as you see the 27 getting spun out. Tristan Cotton and the 0 car there get into it of Blaze Richardson, and he parks it on the inside, bringing out the caution here tonight at lap 191. Strategy call. A few drivers deciding to pit here as your leader stays out. Garrett Walden may be a sitting duck as he stays out with Colin Hoffman and Blaze Richardson. That means those that pitted are going to fall back to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th as your 3 drivers that stayed out here decide to inherit the race lead. What would have been ideal for the likes of Matt Bands and Vince Brent is if only 2 cars had decided to stay out. But with 3, it kind of puts them back a road deeper than they would like to be with what will be a shootout, 3-lap shootout to the finish. Coming back out in 4th, Matt Baines will have the best opportunity here as he'll be in the 2nd row back. Vince Brent, though, he's going to have to restart in the 3rd row with a 3-lap shootout. But it's going to be Blaze Richardson on the inside line on the restart here. 2nd row. Colin Hoffman has a shot. He will restart on the outside. The 43 of Garrett Walden. For Bands, 1 shot here. If we get another caution, green-white checkers could extend the race here this evening. But first attempt to finish under regulation here as the pace car is going to pull off, and Garrett Walden will lead them to the restart.
Green flag, green
We're
flag.
rolling, back and rolling. And they're wrecking in the background. That'll be an
The yellow flag
extension
is out.
here tonight. So it may take a while to get this race in the books here. This will be our first attempt at overtime here in the SCSRA Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series here at Bristol. Heartbreak for Matt Bands, dude. I don't know where else he could have restarted to stay out of trouble. But wrong place, wrong time. Cars on older tires. The 0 specifically of Blaze Richardson on old tires here gets a little bit loose on the restart. And he collects the 72 in the process. 27 of Cotton. For Bands, he only loses 2 spots back to 5th, but that's a whole row back on the next restart here. Vince Brent gets to restart once again up in the 2nd row. This time it'll be alongside Carlton Charles, as it'll be Matt Bands and Ryan Gomes in the 3rd row back. AJ Evangelista and Josh Hall in the 4th row. And Devin Butchino, the first car, 1 lap down in 9th, followed by Michael Lawrence and Tristan Cotton. Blaze Richardson on pit road, falls a lap down. Servicing the 0 car. He might be out of the mix now. Lights are out. We're getting ready to go back racing here. We'll see how many attempts it takes to get us to the checkered. Overtime attempt number 1 underway. The teammates are going to restart on the inside, so this could be a huge perk for Vince Brent as he's got fresher tires and his teammate ahead of him on older tires. 3 laps is the distance. It's all going to be a shootout, green-white checkered style. Pace car makes the hard left down pit road. Back in the hands of your race field here. Colin Hoffman gets a little bit loose. Here comes the 23 ripping roaring up to third. And now Vince Brent, tasked with trying to catch his teammate, spins out. Race stays green. Oh, and it's going to be a caution to end the race. White flag waves. It is official. Your race leader, Garrett Walden, followed by Carlton Charles and Colin Hoffman. But no one's going to have anything for the number 43 machine of Garrett Walden getting the job done here right at the end of it. Chaos broke out behind him. Fireworks shooting off in the distance. A little bit of animosity after the race. Some wrecks and chaos, and Vince Brent still able to bring it home 6th even after spinning. But Garrett Walden gets a max points night with the race win, stage win. Carlton Charles in second. Colin Hoffman, one of your rookie of the year contenders, bringing it home 3rd. And I think just at the moment collecting his thoughts, race win number 4 before he celebrates the victory here tonight. The ceremonious podium photo shot with all 3 of them there at the start-finish line, and he's going to celebrate. Well, the gauntlet has been thrown down. It's going to go to Las Vegas next week with Cypress Academy ahead of the field. It'll be almost a 1-2-3 as Matt Bands, I think, is going to get by Vince Brent here tonight just in place of where they finished on the racetrack. But all 4 of them in the mix for the title between Matt Parasini, Garrett Walden, Matt Bands, and Vince Brent. Alrighty. Well, after all the chaos and carnage unfolded here tonight, we finally get to see the checkered flag. And of course, Garrett Walden, your race winner. Looks like he's trying to find a way to get onto the infield, try to do a celebration on the victory lane podium on the inside of the track there, trying to get there. There he's going. Also coming home in second, Carlton Charles, followed by Colin Hoffman. Then was Matt Bands with a 4th, Josh Hall with a 5th. Top 5 for Josh Hall, not too bad, not too shabby. Vince Brent bringing it home 6th, Ryan Gomes bringing it home 7th, AJ Evangelista 8th, and Michael Lawrence with a top 10. Devin Butchino also 10th place here tonight, followed by Tristan Cotton, Blaze Richardson, Lauren Vincent, Christopher Bishop, Anthony Strickland, and with the start and park here tonight, Matt Parasini gets the points he needs to try and minimize the losses here tonight. And so we will go ahead and go into our post-race interviews here tonight, bringing it home with a 3rd place. We interviewed him earlier this season at the Roval with a podium finish. Once again, 2nd podium here this season. It is the 77 of Colin Hoffman. Colin. This is Jacob in the booth. Do you copy?
Front right, 63. Left rear.
Jacob in the booth?
Jacob, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Loud and clear.
Well, it was a night of chaos here at Bristol. It was kind of hard to keep up with all the insanity. We did have a nice long green flag run at the end there, and you just kind of stayed out of trouble most of the night. So, kind of walk us through it. How did you feel at the race? What the car give you, and how did you get up to a podium here tonight?
Yeah, man, we early on in the race, we were struggling to find some pace, got beat up a little bit, took a bunch of damage early on. We were just trying to survive, and ended up getting to, through all those yellow flags early on and got that clean run. It just lucked out that right when we got that clean run, I was able to take that quick repair and um, pretty much settled into a nice line on that track, and I was able to hold it and just keep pace with those guys up there and just survive. So just did my best to stay out of trouble, and it, left me in third place, so I can't complain too much.
Well, in preparation for this race this week, was this one of the tracks that you had a good feeling about, or did you have to turn a lot of extra sim racing to get comfortable with the track for this weekend?
Believe it or not, no, this is my first race at Bristol, and honestly, I didn't put too much time into it beforehand. I just kind of settled into the race and found a line, and I tell you what, I'm pretty familiar with it now, though.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, kind of just flying blind here tonight, and was able to successfully park it into a podium finish. Um, with Vegas next week, the last race of the season. How's Vegas feel for you?
I've raced there a few times. Got a good feeling for it, so I'm looking forward to racing it and closing out the season. So
Well, any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank for get you to this point here tonight?
absolutely, always thank the family, friends, and fiance for always supporting and watching on, cheering on. So shout out to them.
Awesome. Well, enjoy this podium here tonight, and we'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too. That was Colin Hoffman with third here this evening. We'll go ahead and jump over to a new name we have not heard before in these podium interviews. Carlton Charles with a second on the evening. Carlton, it's Jacob in the booth. Do you copy?
I got you loud and clear.
Well, you were involved in quite a few dust ups here tonight. You just kind of kept your head down and kept fighting. You persevered and brought it home second. Kind of walk us through the evening. How do you feel? What kind of transpired here, and how does it feel to finish second?
Yeah, it feels good. I was out for a while. I just hadn't been able to get on, so it was good to get on tonight. Bristol's like one of my favorite tracks. It's like I'm not very good at this simulator. I'll be 100% honest with everybody. But Bristol's just like one of those tracks that I get into a good flow with, and like if I get in that good flow, I'm usually all right. Um, there was a few runs my tires started to go, and then like you said, I was getting mixed up in a lot of stuff, so it was hard to stay clean, but ended up getting second, so I'm pretty happy with that. And at the end, I didn't mean to cut off Baines going into one. I didn't know he had that. He nosed in on me. I didn't know he was there, but so want to apologize to him for that. But I'm glad he didn't wreck me.
I like how you mentioned rhythm. This very much is a rhythm track, getting into the flow of it. Um, Being such a small track as Bristol is, getting into that rhythm, getting into that flow, and you kind of just make your own, race lines sometimes. It's very unique and very fun. I've been to this racetrack before, and it's cool to see, when people diamond the track. There's all, many ways to approach running this track, and for you, it seems like you got a good, like you said, a good rhythm, a good flow going on. How about with Vegas next week? How do you feel with Vegas to close out the season?
I'm excited to go there. It's always a fun track to race. I'm usually not the fastest there, but it is like it's nice getting those cars up into the 190s and using the draft a little bit. I always look forward to like the drafting tracks too. I know it's not technically a big drafting track, but the draft does matter there. But I'm just excited. It's been a good season to watch. I've watched most of it on YouTube. You guys do a great job up in the booth too, so thank you for what you guys do.
Much appreciated. Love to hear that. I am glad that I'm able to put on a good show, and you guys put on a good show on the racetrack every week. So I mean, without y'all, you're not. I'm just here calling the shots as it's going, and yeah, you guys put on a good show here tonight, even with all the cautions. So any other friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
I got Burrow Barbershop on the car tonight. My good friend's barbershop. So that's a great place. I thank them for being on the car. And my girlfriend's in here with me. She's sleeping, but she was supporting.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, gotta rep the locals. It's always awesome to have them on the hood. And
Exactly.
yeah, congratulations on the second here tonight. Definitely, it's first time we got to talk to you at the end of one of these, and you've had a car capable of getting into a position like this, and it's great to see that it actually kind of came through here tonight.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I've been like thinking. I was like, I gotta get on this podium at least once so I can talk to these guys. But yeah, you guys are a blast, and thank you again.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting on a great show, and we'll see you next week at Vegas.
All right, sounds good.
That was Carlton Charles with second here tonight. And we're going to go ahead and interview your race winner on the evening, Garrett Walden. Garrett, it's Jacob in the booth. Do you copy? Try again. You copy there, Garrett. It's Jacob in the booth.
Yep, I got you.
Well, tonight definitely was a wild night here from Bristol. The first half mired by caution fever. But through all the cautions, through all the chaos, the fire and the flames, you were able to stay up front majority of the night. Walk us through your evening. What all did you have going through your mind when you saw the late pit stops there and you stayed out on old tires? How'd you get to seal the deal tonight?
I mean, it's Bristol, so you fully expect cautions here. Track can be very loose, and it takes a while for the tires to heat up for the car to really tighten up. So I knew if I was just got into my rhythm, that I had one of the best cars, uh, you know, for especially for a long run, which I showed multiple times. So it was a lot of just like managing that, then managing the restarts, making sure didn't spin the tires. Um, as we saw multiple people spin the tires on the restarts tonight. So it's just managing that, managing my tire temps, not overdriving on exit, getting it loose, heating up the rears. And then, when they came in for new tires and I didn't, I felt I was in a good spot because I could get a launch, and with the tire heat cycles, that I should be good for 2 laps. That if we went 3 or 4, I'd be in trouble. So I felt confident with that. Just hit my marks and brought it home.
Well, yeah, hit your marks, and you even secured a max point night here tonight. And it looks like heading to Vegas is going to be a four-way fight between you and your two teammates, along with Sentinel Motorsports' Matt Baines. So tonight, with I think it's going to tighten up. I think it'll be within single digits, and Vegas is going to be fun. I think for you, probably just the approach is approach it with the mindset that we're going to have fun next week. Kind of what's your opinion? What do you got going for Vegas next week?
I mean, it's a mile and a half. I'm very, very comfortable a mile and a half, especially on long runs. Um, I know Matt Persini is very, very good at mile and a halves like Vegas and Kansas. So it's almost like his bread and butter. So I'm gonna have to really be on my toes uh, for him. But I think if we get long runs there, I'll be up there somewhere. I think that it'd be pretty tight between me and him. So I'm feeling confident going in with a big win like this. But I also know that Matt's really good, Vince is very good, Baines is pretty good at mile and a half. So I think it's going to be a good fight, kind of like Atlanta 1992. I feel like that's kind of what we're setting up here.
I dig it. Yeah, 1992 Atlanta. That is one that's kind of like ingrained into a racer, a motorsport fan's brain. Um, that year that the Davey that was 91 or 90. Was that the one Davey Allison was in the mix? If I'm
No, this was 92 because it was the one that Alan Kawicki won.
okay,
Because it was
yeah,
between Alan Kawicki,
and Davey
Kyle
Allison.
Petty, Davey Allison, and Bill Elliott. It was Richard Petty's last race, Jeff Gordon's first race. It was a
Yes.
huge race, but going into that race, four people had a chance at the title. Going into our race at Vegas, 4 people have a chance at the title. So it's, kind of winner take all who has the best run come next week.
Yep, I'm excited for Vegas. It's put all your money on one number at the roulette table and see which one comes up victorious. So with that, of course, winning here tonight at Bristol. Any other friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here, getting you to this point?
Yeah, big shout out to my team, Vince, Matt, and team owner Jesse Whittington, always, cheering us on from the side and always giving us big encouragement. It's a lot of fun to race with them every week, week in, week out, push us to different heights. Shout out to the admins for everything they do between points and just keeping things consistent in the league. And shout out to you for putting on the broadcast for us every week as well. Then big shout out to my mom, my girlfriend for always supporting me and everything I do, and let me do this kind of racing thing, and always have my back whenever I do these things, and always cheering me on. But I'm looking forward to next week.
Yep, rolling into next week with momentum on your side. It should be one for the ages with your team and Matt Bands for the title. Celebrate this win
sir.
here tonight, and we'll see you next week at Vegas.
Yes, sir. You have a good night.
You too. Well, that's a wrap here tonight, folks, from Bristol. Race winner Garrett Walden, win number 4 on the season. Him and his teammate have been the class of the show. Matt Parasini with 5 wins. It'll be between those two and Vince Brent, also very much still alive for the title hunt. A little bit more on the outside looking in, but Matt Bands too right there in the mix. It's going to be within about 10 points of each other. All 4 cars, like he said, winner take all at Vegas next week. It's going to be one to gamble, and someone will come out hitting it rich at Las Vegas. So thanks again, folks. Thank you to the league for putting on a show each week, giving us here at Intensity Broadcasting something to talk about. And I'm excited to see how this all unfolds to conclude Season 12 of the SCSRA Cup Series Tammy Butchino Memorial Season. Thanks again. Hopefully all have a great night. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week from Las Vegas. This is Jakester signing